going back to when you were at RCC, one of the things that I know that you had mentioned in there was that you learned that, for lack of a better word, professionalism, which is something that I know a lot of guys had mentioned about Dennis and him being a coach. You learn how to be a professional, which is how you ultimately ended up where you were through the minors.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I like to call him the baseball Yoda.
Yeah.
Like, he's got so much wisdom in there. And a lot of the times, like, I remember, I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan, but I love Star Wars. And, like, when Yoda was interacting with Luke, there's a lot of time, like, Luke had no idea what Yoda was referring to. But then, like, later on in his life, it would click. And it was the same with Dennis. Like, there was so much wisdom he imparted in on us. And at the time, like, we had no clue what he was talking about. But then, like, later on in my career, I'm like, oh, I get it. And that's the reason why he made us do it, because it leads to this. And one example is just, like, how we had to shine our shoes. Our shoes couldn't have one scuff, so we had to take like black polish, like shine our cleats up, make sure they look good. And the whole time we were thinking, like, why does it matter how we look on the field? But it was more about the preparation that leads into what we're going to do on the field. It's the focus, the intent of making this perfect. That way we develop that habit of perfection before we ever step on the field, and that gets ingrained in everything else that we do to prepare. So at the time, like I said, we were just like, this is dumb. I don't get it.
Sure.
But the more you do it, the more you realize it becomes a habit. That habit leaks into other things that you do to prepare for the baseball game. And before you know it, you're doing all these things that lead up to what you need to go do out on the field. And then once you get on the field, your talent just takes over. You don't have to think anymore because you already did all the thinking beforehand.